55.
Well, this is the initial.
5%.
This is the initial.
Neighbor off.
Maybe.
I don't think we're talking. No,
Because we have to go to executive.
impressive.
Yeah, we're gonna do that after this meeting. Talk about it.
This house is yours.
That's me.
Very ready?
I think.
Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order, please.
Regular meeting of Washington, Missouri City Council, Monday, November 4th, 2019, 7 p.m. Heidrich.
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Obermark.
Aye.
Patke.
Here.
Pettit.
Here.
Scornia. Sullentrup.
Here.
Wessels.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
There are 8 of us.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will all the council members answer if they have or have not read the council minutes dated October 28th, 2019? Heidrich.
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Obermark.
Aye.
Petke.
Aye.
Pettit.
Yes.
Scornia. Sullentrup.
Yes.
Wessels.
Yes.
Having read the minutes, are there any comments or questions?
Make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Sullentrup, seconded by Holtmeyer, to approve the minutes from our last meeting dated October 28, 2019. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the minutes. Thank you.
Approval and adjustment of agenda, including consent agenda. You have the final pay request for pool operations and management for Midwest Pool Management.
Anybody have any comments on that? Wayne? This is the final pay request.
No comments at all. Things did, I worked a little bit with the management company this year, and it was a rainy season, so we did have extra money come back to us. And I think overall, the season went very well despite the rainy weather. And I think, I heard a number of positive comments. I think some of you guys did too. And overall, it was a good pool season, and despite the rain. So it's a final pay request. So overall, the city saved about $14,000, which I believe was a little less than last year. But last year, if you recall, we had the pump go out, so we closed early. But overall, I think it was a good pool season. So we recommend that council consider and approve Midwest Pools Management's final payment in the amount of $3,500.
And I think a lot of the comments this year was the pool was cleaner, the area was nicer, the food was better. I mean, there were a lot of things that when we were researching the new pool,
Right.
we heard a lot of comments from folks of what their concerns were about the current one. And I think you addressed that at one of those conferences you went to, maybe, or something like that.
Yes, early on,
because-
back in February. I've worked with the pool management company at a number of other places, so I was familiar with their operations and some of the staff, and so we had a pretty good working relationship, and I was able to, I think, accomplish some things pretty quickly and bring some things to their attention.
It was a good deal to have the teenagers run the concession stand, too. That
Yes, that worked out well.
really was a nice thing, that the personal touch.
And I followed up with them at the end of the season, and, in August, their intentions are to come back again next year, or this coming year, so.
Great.
It's nice.
Okay.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Sullentrup, seconded by Obermark, to approve the item on the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the item. Thank you.
Priority items, mayor's presentations, appointments and reappointments, Park Commission appointment.
Okay, this evening in your packet is a request for your approval for the appointment of Bob Zurich to the Parks Commission. His term would be ending in June of 2022. Bob has been for a long time involved with the Soccer Association, and we felt that it would be a good representation on the park board to have this soccer association represented. So, any questions or comments?
Make a motion accepted.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Sullentrup, seconded by Holtmeyer, to approve the appointment of Bob Zurich to the Park and Recreation Commission. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the appointment. Thank you.
Citizens' comments?
Is there anyone here who would like to address the council on any item that is not on the agenda?
Excuse me.
Okay,
Report of department heads?
Yeah, I'll just give you a quick update on a couple projects that we're working on. Currently, we have a RFQ out for airport consultants. Every 5 years, we're required by the FAA and MoDOT to solicit qualifications from firms to do our essentially airport consulting for capital projects or any other questions that we may have. So that is currently out on the streets, and we're looking forward to get some of those qualifications back. Second one, we have a request for proposals slash bids, I guess, for solid waste. I know we had that forum or that discussion last Monday, and we were able to pull those documents together fairly quickly. We had them essentially ready to go at that time. So we are out to bid right now on that. Those bids are due back the third Friday in November, which is the 22nd. So at that time, we'll see what they look like, and we'll have more discussion about that. The other one, 3rd Street, we are currently a request for qualifications. We're actually due last Friday on consulting for 3rd Street. 3rd Street, if you recall, is an East-West Gateway or a STP-funded 80/20 grant that we received a year ago. It'll resurface 3rd Street from Jefferson to 47, new curb and gutter and new sidewalks. And then we're also working in conjunction with Ameren on that as well, on some pole relocation. So with all the grades and different tie-ins, I felt it was important that we did get somebody on board to at least assist us with some of that work. As always, we'll do everything we possibly can to do it in-house, but we do need somebody, I think, to lean on some of these. That's a pretty big project. That's a $1 million job. So Lafayette, Duncan, Meadowlark, Duncan was the final paving was done this morning on Duncan Avenue, so the paving operations have been complete. So if you get a chance, drive Meadowlark, drive Duncan. I think they turned out fine. There will be a change order on Duncan and Meadowlark. When we milled off the surface, the stone or the base rock underneath was a lot larger. It was 2-inch kind of clean stone, and that tends to, for lack of better terms, eat up asphalt a lot more than like a smooth mill surface. But rather than thin up the asphalt, I decided to keep it as is. So there will be a change order on the asphalt tonnage once I get the final numbers in. Lafayette Street is also complete. It is not open. We're hoping to open that tomorrow. That'll be 7 days since I poured that apron. That was the big concern here. Again, there'll be a change order on that because we did remove and replace a storm sewer, 36-inch storm sewer that we did not want to replace. But when we opened it up, there were a lot of stress cracks in the clay pipe, and we made a decision to take that out as well. So just a couple change order items that'll close that job out. But we'll be going through punch list stuff with the contractor. If you guys see anything, let me know. They're all pretty minor, to be honest, so far. So if you have any other questions.
any questions of John? Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Ordinances, resolutions. An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a general warranty deed by and between the City of Washington, Missouri, Mark A. Trebek and Barbara K. Trebek.
Holtmeyer.
Introduced by Councilman Holtmeyer.
As you'll recall, the owner of this tract has had an easement over the top of that for the detention basin that's been there for quite some time. They had requested in the past to go ahead, and they just requested to quit claim that. We told them that no, they had to go through the subdivision process. They finally did earlier this year. I think that was in May of 2019. You guys approved that final plat. So this allows us to go ahead and transfer the property. They transfer the property to us. So it'll be under our ownership.
Any questions or comments?
What are we gonna do with it? Just help?
Same thing we've always done.
Yeah, it's,
Take
We've
care.
been maintaining it for years. It was an easement. He was being taxed on it, is what I was informed.
and we are working, I do have a plan to work this winter with the street department to try to improve the looks of it essentially, because it does have some groundwater issues. So there's some plans in place to try to get it in a much more aesthetically pleasing stormwater facility
If we can get it easier to mow.
where we can get there. I mean, I just got to have time to get the plans thrown together, have the guys build it, so. Thanks.
And High Street is in 2020, 2020?
High Street will be towards the latter of next year.
Next year, okay.
Yep. So we're working, we just received the authority to get right-of-way, and that should go fairly quickly because Borgia is really the main right-of-way group, I guess, that we need to get right-of-way from, so I don't anticipate an adversarial right-of-way conversation with them. The sidewalk's going in to benefit them more than anyone.
Yeah.
What's the water problem across the street from this property by Napa?
Napa, yeah, the water problem, that is, it looks to be that it's a footing drain from Napa, so look at the extended to the right-of-way. We did survey, there's a curb or an inlet in their parking lot. You could see it kind of washed away a little bit. I talked to the property owners, pick a number, 2 months ago, and we surveyed that, so they can tie that footing drain into that structure. So that's the plan, is just put it right back into the storm sewer structure that they have. It's just, we got to get there. So it was a good segue to talk about right-of-way with them too. So they're on board with this. It's just, we got to get it done. It's not really a city issue to fix. It's more of it's a private issue to take care of, but I'm
Well, if
trying to
we're
work
gonna
with them.
redo High Street, we want at least,
Oh, yeah, no, it's going to get taken care of.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got a question. It's only related to this area, not to this property. Resident on West Ridge and High was in a riding lawnmower, blew all his leaves out in the street, got him in the street and was grinding them up in the street and blowing them into storm sewer.
Yep. Happens all the time.
What do you do?
Police chiefs.
Call that
Give us
guy.
a call and we cite him for loot.
Yep, there's various ordinances. In the stormwater ordinance, I think there is one as well. It's a violation, our MS4 permit, I mean, that's one of the benefits, one of the soft benefits you get from leaf pickup is we utilize that as a what is the city doing to meet our municipal separate storm sewer system permit, MS4. So that's one thing that, it's an educational piece. So I'll work with chief, just let me know. I mean, I got no problem making a phone call and explaining why that's a bad thing to do.
Ultimately goes to him, so.
Yeah, it's a city code violation subject to fines of up to $500 per day per occurrence.
I like to talk to them. Educate.
Nice little letter helps out too.
What's that?
Little letter helps out too, that you sent,
Yeah.
ordinance violation.
Thank you.
Okay, so I guess we'll read this a second time.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a general warranty deed by and between the City of Washington, Missouri, Mark A. Trebek, and Barbara K. Trebek. Sullentrup,
yes.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Scornia.
Yes.
Pettit.
Yes.
Obermark.
Yes.
Heidrich.
Aye.
Patke.
Yes.
Wessels.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance amending section 600.110.A.3 of the Code of the City of Washington, Missouri, relating to the sale of intoxicating liquor in excess of 22% by alcohol by weight.
Ooh, introduced by Councilman Holtmeyer. Okay, this follows the ordinance we had a few weeks ago.
That was for the manufacturing of it.
Manufacturing and
This
now
is for
it's
the
sale.
retail, or this is for the sale.
Any questions or comments?
What was that translation? I don't know.
I forgot to look.
It sounded good at the time.
There was a coefficient you could use.
Go to the internet. That's the source of all things accurate and true.
An ordinance amending section 600.110.a.3 of the Code of the City of Washington, Missouri, relating to the sale of intoxicating liquor in excess of 22% by alcohol by weight. Sullentrup,
Yes.
Holtzmeyer.
Aye.
Scornia. Pettit.
Yes.
Obermark.
Yes.
Heidrich. Hatke.
Yes.
Wessels.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance amending the 2019 budget for the period of October 1, 2018 through September 30, 2019 for the City of Washington, Missouri.
Saltrop.
Introduced by Councilman Sullentrup. This is the ordinance that follows Mary's presentation in our previous meeting as it relates to the 2018-2019 budget. Any questions or comments?
An ordinance amending the 2019 budget for the period of October 1, 2018 through September 30, 2019 for the City of Washington, Missouri. Sullentrup.
Yes.
Holtzmeyer.
Aye.
Scornia. Pettit.
Yes.
Obermark.
Yes.
Heidrich. Hatke.
Yes.
Wessels.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance amending the 2020 budget for the period of October 1, 2019 through September 30, 2020 for the City of Washington, Missouri.
Introduced by Councilman Holtmeyer. So this is the other item that Mary addressed a while ago as it relates to the 2020 budget. Any questions or comments?
An ordinance amending the 2020 budget for the period of October 1, 2019 through September 30, 2020 for the City of Washington, Missouri.
I've seen it.
Sullentrup.
Yes.
Holtzmeyer.
Aye.
Scornia. Pettit.
Yes.
Obermark.
Yes.
Heidrich. Hatke.
Yes.
Wessels.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a contract by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and Cochrane for the Pretreatment Compliance Assistance Project.
Introduced by Councilman Scornia. Okay, so this is the ordinance that follows Kevin's presentation earlier today.
Correct, yes. As Kevin briefed you on, that the city is currently under a notice of violation at the wastewater treatment plant due to some ordinance streamlining that needs to be taken care of, essentially. We've been working on this, like he said, for quite some time. We are 90% through the process, but in that notice of violation, DNR did recommend that we did get a consultant on board to assist us to see us through to the finish line, essentially. So that's what we're doing. It's a rewriting of the ordinance. It's a rewriting of an emergency response plan, which if a industry does not meet the requirements that is within our ordinance, we have a very specific response plan that the city staff has to do to bring that industry into compliance. So it's rewriting that as well. And like I said, it's basically almost a final draft. It's just not quite there yet. So we've reached out to Cochrane to provide us that assistance. It is a not-to-exceed contract of $9,500. It's essentially time and materials up to that amount. If we approach that amount and we think that there's going to be additional fees, we'll bring that forth to you all. But at this time, we don't see that being the case. Mr. Van Leer with Cochrane is here if you have any questions.
The reimbursable expenses not included in 9,500?
It's not. No, it's a separate item. I mean, that would be paper copies, that type of stuff. So it's not included in that 9,500.
Any questions or comments?
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a contract by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and Cochrane for the Pretreatment Compliance Assistance Project. Sullentrup.
Yes.
Holtzmeyer.
Aye.
Scornia. Pettit.
Yes.
Obermark.
Yes.
Heidrich. Hatke.
Yes.
Wessels.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 19-13007, being an ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a listing agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri, the County of Franklin, Missouri, and Avison Young Amo LLC.
Holtmeyer.
Introduced by Councilman Holtmeyer. Mark?
Do you want to cover it?
Yeah, the only change to this agreement from the one you passed previously is it carves out 1 acre at the highest elevation of the property
For the tower.
for a new water
tower.
tank, and then another 2 acres at some location that you could agree on with whoever the buyer is. So really, you're selling 26.6 acres, not 29.6, but that's the only change.
Ideally, we would like both of those together, but that's, and we can still have that because the final sale is up to you as well.
Right.
Any questions or comments?
An ordinance amending ordinance number 19-13007, being an ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a listing agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri, the County of Franklin, Missouri, and Avison Young Amo LLC. Sullentrup? Yes. Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Scornia?
Yes.
Pettit?
Yes.
Obermark?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Patke?
Yes.
Wessels?
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a service agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri, and Wireless USA.
Sullentrup.
Introduced by Councilman Sullentrup. This is the ordinance that follows Lisa's request earlier this evening for the radios
For the maintenance.
and the maintenance. So, any questions or comments?
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a service agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri, and Wireless USA. Sullentrup?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Scornia? Pettit?
Yes.
Obermark?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Patke?
Yes.
Wessels?
Aye.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
Mayor's report.
Just a couple of things. Last Thursday, we celebrated Darren Day at City at City Hall.
Surge thing.
It was a good Darren day.
It was
It was a good lunch.
Yeah, it was good
so we
pulled
celebrated Darren Day to recognize him for being honored as an outstanding public official by Missouri Main Street, and it was nice. It was very nice. Started at about 8 in the morning, and we had a nice luncheon. So anyway, but it was very good. So we congratulate you one more time for that. And then on this Friday is the appreciation coffee for the American Bloom volunteers. So if you're available from 9 to 10, stop by and have some coffee and pastries. And
This Friday?
This Friday, the 8th, from 9 to 10. And we have about 30 folks who have RSVP'd at this point. So with hosting the symposium next year, we want to make sure our volunteers know that we appreciate them. So anyway, and that's all I have.
City Administrator's report.
No report. We've got stuff to cover in executive session.
Council comments.
Any comments?
City Attorney's report. Public vote on whether or not to hold a closed meeting to discuss personnel, legal, and real estate matters pursuant to Section 610.021 RSMO 2000. Sullentrup? Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Pettit?
Yes.
Obermark? Heidrich? Patke?
Yes.
Wessels?
Aye.
At least you didn't blow.